So I was having an argument with another gentleman about active shooter situations. Okay. And he actually mentioned the Ecole Polytechnique massacre. And I said, wait a minute. I have a movie based off that. I bought it but never watched it. So I figured it was a good time to watch it. So Polytechnique is a 2009 Canadian drama film directed by Denis Villeneuve. Sorry if I mispronounced his name. The film is based on the 1989 Ecole Polytechnique massacre, also known as the Montreal Massacre, and reenacts the events of the incident through the eyes of two students. All right. The movie has won a number of awards in the 2009 Cannes Film Festival, including Best Motion Picture. Karen Van Ness, who played Valerie, helped produce Polytechnique and wanted to make a film about the massacre for years. She helped secure director Denis Villeneuve for the film, who at the time was respected for making the 2000 film Maelstrom. Despite the sensitive topic, he felt it was a good time to make a movie and to have a legitimate conversation about it. In terms of filming, they actually gave the school that the shooting took place actually gave them the rights to film there, but they decided not to because of the sensitive nature, which I understand. Okay, so the basic plot is this: a young man enters a school, Polytechnique Montreal, which is an engineering school, goes into one of the classroom, orders all the men out, tells the women he hates feminists. Now they argue that point, but he doesn't care. He goes to town with his gun and starts shooting them. He goes to the school, shooting different women, injuring some. He eventually kills himself. Okay. The movie basically deals with the aftermath a little bit. They deal with one of the male students, his guilt for not helping the women and doing more. And I think they deal with like one or two of the female survivors. So let me give you my pros and cons of the movie. I liked the movie. I felt it was, I thought all the actors did a pretty good job. Based on what they were given, they did a solid job. I liked all the actors. Camera angles were done pretty well. You may say, well, man, what's the big thing? A lot of movies have good camera angles. That's true. But, I've watched a lot of movies where they have horrible camera angles. And I can't tell what's going on, or they have that shaky cam and they get goofy. So when I watch a movie where it's just a nice, normal camera angles and I can see what's going on, that's a big thing to me. Okay. I never got bored watching the movie. I felt that it moved at a brisk pace, which is good. Also, man, one thing that I liked, which I thought was kind of weird at first, the movie's in black and white. And I said, wait a minute. What's going on here? Something wrong with my TV? I said, wait a minute. No, the movie's in black and white. And that's how they actually shot it. And I think from my understanding, the director did that because he felt that it would sort of mitigate some of the violent scenes, like the blood and stuff in those scenes. Personally, I felt that it actually made the movie more creepy and gave it a little bit more of a horror movie vibe. Yeah, it gave it better atmosphere. I don't know. I felt like it matched the subject matter, the subject material. So ultimately, it's a pretty interesting movie. Moves by at a quick pace. I feel like the putting it in black and white made it a little bit unusual. I like the tone of the movie. It reminds me of the movie, was it Taxi or Taxi Driver? Okay. Now, let me make one more good point before I go to the bad ones. I do feel like this movie could be, it's a good method, a good way to open up a discussion on the topic, okay, of active shooters, okay, and active shooters in school. Also, the main thing, do men have a duty to protect women? Okay. These guys got up in this school and they ran off and they left these women. Now, me personally, I felt like they did the right thing. Okay. Some people don't feel that way. That's what me and the guy was arguing about. Okay. If you actually ever had active shooter training, and I'm not saying all this training is the same, but the training I had, essentially they tell you run, hide, and defend. Okay. You run, you get away, you get out of the building, wherever the shooters is, active shooters, that you get the heck out of there. Okay. If you can't run, then you hide. If you can't hide, then you defend. Whatever weapon you can, you try and beat the crap out of this dude. Now, this man told these dudes to leave. He told these young men to leave. Essentially, based on what the actual experts tell you, they did the right thing. Now, you can see them as punks. You can say, hey, if they had bomb rushed this guy, if all these men in this school had bomb rushed this guy, they could have took him down. Yes, but now how many of them would he have shot? He may have shot 2 or 3 of them. See, me personally, you may not like to hear this. I don't value women's lives over my own, okay? The only way I would value a woman's life over my own if she was my wife, daughter, or mother, or sister, or something like that. If I'm just going to school with random women, I would not value their life over my own. And I feel like society has made men more docile, but at the same time, getting upset that they're not these masculine warriors. You can't have it both ways. But I think it's definitely an interesting topic, something very interesting to discuss and talk about. And I think the movie is a good method of doing that. Okay, now on to some of the stuff I didn't care for. While I like all of the cast, I feel like the guy who played the killer is the only one who really stood out. But it's not that bad because a lot of them don't have a lot to actually do in the movie. I liked the movie being shot in black and white. Some people may not like that. There's a lot of people who are not crazy about black and white, and they just want color. And I wonder if that may have hurt the film with an actual, widespread audience. I don't like the fact that the movie doesn't really delve into some of his motives. I may have to watch it again. But the real life shooter actually had an abusive father who mistreated him, who abused him, and was not really into being affectionate towards a young man growing up and did not want his mother to be affectionate towards him. He discouraged her from being affectionate toward him. And I wonder if that may have affected his mind. There was a lot of talk that he may have some type of disorder and that mistreatment from his father. And I don't remember the movie actually getting into that at all. Also, he goes and tells these girls, I'm a feminist and I hate feminists. Okay. In real life, he had this little manifesto, and I don't know if they ever released all of it, but some of it did get out, and they did kind of talk about his reasons and his thoughts as to why he hated feminism. And, the movie, I don't remember the movie really get into that. They don't really get into that. I wish they could have had at least one scene or two with his father abusing him, and at least a scene or two of him showing as to, his mindset as to why he hated feminism so much. I don't remember the movie getting into that. Also, in real life, this shooting actually had a big effect in our society. They changed gun laws. They came up with some type of organized government group organization to deal with like abuse towards women. There was some changes in the society that I don't remember seeing that in the movie. Yeah, so it changed a lot of things. Police responses to active shooters in that country were changed because of that. You had a panel on violence against women. Okay, they changed some things. You don't really see that. The stuff about gun control in the movie. Maybe I need to watch it again. I don't remember any of that. And I understand they had a limited budget, but I felt like, okay, they could have just had a news host or some talk show people sitting around arguing about gun control, arguing, well, do we need a government, another government organization to deal with violence against women? Do we really need to change the way the police handle active shooter situations? They could have just showed that and showed the effects on society, which I don't feel like they ever did. Okay. I think that was kind of a problem with the movie, in my opinion. All right. And I'm not a guy who loves violence or who wants to see violence be sensationalized, but I thought some of the scenes in the movie where the guy went around and shooting the women, those were some of the most really gripping scenes, and they kind of went away from that a little too quick, in my opinion. There was one scene where there's a girl and she's going around the school and she's trying to escape, and you can tell she's scared. She's scared to just looking around every corner thinking, okay, is this guy going to pop out like a horror movie monster? I feel like you didn't really have to even show him shooting people anymore. You could have just had her going around the school trying to find an exit, being scared. I think they should have stayed with it a little bit more. But man, overall, it's not a bad movie. I actually enjoyed it. Definitely worth a rental. I think at one point it was free on Amazon Prime. Okay. So if you already have Amazon Prime or you want to rent it, go ahead. I don't know if I would buy it, but even if you bought it, it's probably cheap. Oh, and I'll say one last thing. This may not be the movie for people who don't like to watch stuff based on real life events, murders and killings. I mean, I know people who will watch horror movies and stuff like that. They can't take movies based off of real life killings. So, just my thoughts, man. An interesting movie. Could have been worse, could have been better. Definitely worth a rental.